fell apart. It's quite amazing. And with great piety and with a significant amount of trepidation, we approached this effort. Upon completion of the preparation of the relics, taking off all of the stuff that had fallen off of the casket and so forth, cleaning them up, Vladika Anthony had pulled out a clean one which had been prepared earlier. We removed the relics from the casket and put it into a temporary casket which Father George Kurtogin had prepared beforehand. And we closed the casket, and Vladika Anthony sealed it, and we put it back into the sepulcher and closed it back up. We prayed again around the relics of the saints before we all departed, but it's impossible to really express the feelings that we all experienced. After we left the sepulcher that evening, none of us who were there could calm down, if you will. It was a feeling of such piety, of such blessedness, of such grace. What we had witnessed that evening is beyond description. Personally, it was a very important moment for me, as I was one of only 6 who were present that evening in 1993, who were present at the funeral services for Vladika John back in 1966. I was only a 12-year-old boy then, holding the staff of Archbishop Sava, and I recall late at night when they were about to close the casket and put it into the sepulcher, I didn't make it in time to venerate the relics one last time. And I stood there by the closed casket and I whispered a small prayer that God would grant to me to live to see the day where we would reopen this casket and that I might be there. And 28 years later, God granted the wish of His unworthy servant.
Also, we orphans would remember how some older people in church would call our Archbishop John, Bishop St. John. And we children wondered why they call him Saint. In church, at the end of the service, he would tell us all these wonderful sermons, stories about the saints that celebrated that day. How we loved to hear him, as he could do it so vividly, all about each of them. He knew the year they lived, martyred, fell asleep. It all sounded like it happened yesterday.
It's a spiritual journey that a person goes on and continues through his life probably from the earliest conscious acceptance of life according to God's commandments and really striving to fulfill those commandments, commandment of love of God and love of fellow man.
We, I think, who knew him in his life, knew he was a saint. How he would, for example, first of all, as I said, would pray. Then how he would care for people. How he would set up hospitals, how he would set up schools, how he would set up orphanages, how he brought the orphanage when it was absolutely impossible from the Tubabawa here.
To know him was to love him, and to love him is we still have to love him, and we need to pray to him to intercede for us. And he does intercede for us. Whether we know it or not, he does intercede for us.
The fact that he was very down to earth, I think this shows that you don't have to walk on water to be a saint. Just live the life of the church, believe in the church, do your prayers, confess your sins, have communion. I think just the opposite, that a person who's a human being, as we all are, a person with certain weaknesses, with certain maybe even minor faults, but a person just as us, that sanctity is achievable.
Злоба и недоброжелательства, чтобы страсти, похоти не одолевали нас. Извиняйтесь всякой злой мысли из нашего сердца. И взывайте той песню, которая поется от всеми хвоста. Через плохо вижу спать мой украшу зло, одежда им омним. Пусть день мой свидодавчий, помил меня